Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Rebecca Shores, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do this fresh winter look. This is a look I would wear on Christmas morning, or maybe if I'm outside and going shopping when it's a little bit cooler outside. I like this because it's simple but really put together and polished. So let's get started. I'm starting out with the Laura Mercier Oil-Free Foundation Primer, and I'm applying that with my hands. I'm then going to my standard foundation, which is the Makeup Forever HD mixed with Illamasqua Skinbase in white, and I'm using a Furless CB2 to buff that all over my skin. Then I like to go over with a beauty sponge. This is the Real Techniques. I like the Beauty Blender as well, just because I like the finish that this gives my skin. I definitely have some dark circles, so my next step in perfecting my skin is using the All Over Blend by Sigma and a bit of the Pixie Corrector in Peach Brightening, and just patting that under my eyes. I then go ahead and prime my eyes, and I use the MAC Studio Finish Concealer just because I like the way that works for priming my eyes, and I can also use this on my skin in general if I wanted to. I'm using a little bit of that same concealer, and I'm just going around my nose and anywhere that I need a little extra coverage. And I'm using the Furless CB1 as my brush. So I'm now going to grab my favorite concealer, and this is the NARS Creamy in Chantilly, and I'm using that to conceal the darkness under my eyes. You can obviously use whatever concealers are your favorites and use concealer where you need it. So this is just where I need the most correction, is under my eyes. And then I do use a bit of the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder, and I'm just going under my eyes because we're going to be going with cream makeups. I only set that part of my face right now. I'm now using a Sigma E75, and I'm using a bit of the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo, and this is in Ash Brown, and just going ahead and running that through my brows. I want this to be pretty natural since, again, this is more of a fresh look, and I'm just going over where my brows naturally grow in, and I'm using the lighter color. Now I'm using the Anastasia Contour Kit in Fair because this is a lot about the skin. I do want to make sure that my skin's looking good. We have some extra definition on the face. So as you can see, I'm using my fingers. I really like the texture of this. I know some people think it's a little bit hard to work with, but I find that the warmth of my fingers does a perfect job for that. So I hit above my forehead, kind of just to shorten my forehead a little bit, down the sides of my nose, under my cheekbones, and a bit under my jaw. And then I go through and buff that out. So gotta blend, blend, blend basically forever. I use any type of brush around my nose that's smaller. And then I'm using a Furless CB3 here to blend the rest of my contour on, the larger parts of your face. You can also straight up just use your fingers to blend as well. If you're having any trouble, I would recommend using your fingers because this product moves a lot more when it is warmed up by your fingers, or just let it sit on your skin before you actually try to blend it out. I'm now going in mixing the two lighter shades in the Anastasia Contour Kit, and I'm applying that to the tops of my cheekbones and just kind of patting those on. That one I like to use with the brush. I don't like to go ham with my fingers. I'm now taking a Hakuhodo 5521B, and I'm using the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Ethereal, and I'm using that just to set my face. And now a little bit of clear brow gel through my brows just to keep them in place. Now I'm going in with a bit of the Makeup Forever HD blush. I don't actually know what color this is, but I will put it in the down box. You would use any cream blush you like. This is like one of the only ones I have. I would really like to use a red one here, but I didn't have one handy. So go ahead, apply that, keeping it towards the front of your face because we kind of want to look like we've been out in the cold. So that's why I'm also hitting the tops of my nose and keeping my flush to the front of my face because we want to look like we've just gone for a brisk walk in the snow. Now I'm using a Hakuhodo J5522, and I'm using a bit of MAC Lightscapade You can use whatever highlight you want. If I would have had Becca Pearl at this time, I would have used that and just hit the tops of your cheekbones. I'm now using a bit of Mac Blanc type as we go into our eyeshadow, and I'm using a Sigma Large Fluff, and I'm just putting this down as my base shadow. We're going to go for pretty simple eyes today. This is kind of more about the skin and the blush. Now I'm using a bit of Mylar, and then I'm using that to highlight. I'm just using the same brush. This is a very, very easy look. So as you can see, using the same brush, pulling it along my brow bone, and also patting it over my lid just to brighten up that area. I'm now using Cream Dream, and this is by Saucebox on that Hakuhodo J5522. And I'm just going through, pulling that through the crease, blending it out a ways. And then I'm also going to be taking that on the lower lash line, and as always, blending it really far down. I've basically decided, since my eyes are hooded and I don't have a lot of upper lid space, I just take advantage of the lower lash line instead. I'm now using the Endless Silky Eye Pencil by Pixie in Black Noir, and I'm using that to tightline under my eyes. And then I'm also pulling it really, really, really close to my upper lash line. You can use whatever eyeliner you like here, but I like this one because it's more of a gel consistency, so I'm able to blend over it. So now I'm taking a brush, and as you can see, I'm just pushing that out. I just want a really soft line on our upper lash line. So we're actually going to be blending some shadows over this in a second. So get a little bit of black down so that when we put eyelashes on later, they're going to be concealed better. Now I'm using a bit of Saucebox's Almond, and this is also from the Etude palette, and I'm just running that right along my lash line. Again, kind of like eyeliner, but we're going to be blending this out. This is just going to give us a really nice soft look where we're defining our eyes, but it's just really soft, simple, effortless. I'm now going over it with a Smith 220 just to blend that out. And as you can see, I also brought a little bit on my lower lash line, but it's a really tiny bit, and there was no eyeliner on the lower lash line. So just work on blending that out. And on the lower lash line, you're blending it about halfway across, but you've actually only placed it on the outer third. This is going to keep the shadow really soft and diffused. And now this is Rain from the Saucebox Creme de la Creme palette, and I'm using this to highlight the inner corner. So as you can see, we're going to go for a pretty pop and highlight. So go ahead, pop that on the inner corner and start pulling it a little bit on the upper and lower lash line about a quarter of the way in. I'm also going to hit my brow bone with this because we're just going to be really glowy and luminous today. So as you can see, pulling it over my Cupid's bow as well. Then I'm giving my lashes a curl and applying a good coat of mascara. Go with whatever is your fave. I'm then throwing a nude liner in my waterline and adding some wispy lashes by Ardell. I'm then going to go ahead and line my lips with a clear liner. I'm using Ozone by Urban Decay and just taking that around the perimeter of my lips. And then adding a little bit of any type of chapstick will work, but I'm using the Smith's Rosebud. And now I'm going to start to define my Cupid's bow area. I'm using Goddess by Marc Jacobs on a Smith lip brush. And as you can see, start by defining your Cupid's bow or any area that you do want a slightly more defined line, because we are going to be making this lipstick more of a stain later on. So I'm going to be defining just the Cupid's bow area and then the bottom center of my bottom lip. And then I'm just starting to kind of spread the color on just straight out of the bullet, and then press your lips together, use your finger, and really start working that color into your actual lips, because we're going to want this to be a stain. This is going to help because if you are going to take a stroll and it's chilly outside, drink some hot chocolate, eat a candy cane, your lipstick's not really going to move around. And now that I'm kind of defining the edges again, as you can see, I'm just pushing the color around. I don't actually have a lot of product on the brush, and that keeps the edges really soft. They're not like a really sharp, crisp lip line. They're just soft. Now I'm taking a tissue and just blotting that, and then I go along with a little bit of concealer wherever I took the red outside of my lip line. So blot carefully. Now I'm going in with more of that Rain eyeshadow and just highlighting my Cupid's bow and kind of going pretty heavy-handed with that. You can always be a little bit softer if you want, but I like a bold highlight on my lips. And then I'm also taking it along the bottom lip just to add a little more basically shape and definition. And that finishes off our look. It's just a pretty easy to wear, great for winter look. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please like and subscribe. I put out new videos every Tuesday and Friday, and I hope to see you guys on the next one.